the summer of 1986, 60 young people were invited to a campsite in Wales by the National Association of Young People in Care. All the young people that came were either in care or ex-care. As well as the opportunity of mixing with other young people, they were also able to go abseiling, canoeing, pony trekking and orienteering. They also took the time to discuss amongst themselves the most important issues which affect their everyday lives.
2, 3, go!
If they know about your background, people can call you test tube babies, from test tube babies to bastards.
Criminals, crooks, orphans.
Thugs and, you know, vandals and sort of like mental patients or something like that, you know. Like we're all mad in the head. We'll never get anywhere in life. But I don't believe that's true.
And a lot of people's opinions or views, they think that, oh, she's in a children's home, she must have done something really bad. And look at her, she's in a children's home. And things like that. And they just have the wrong attitude. I think people should know what it is like to be in care, and I think people should know that people don't do something wrong to get into care. It's usually through family problems.
When you first go into a home, no one tells you nothing. You just put there, they tell you the rules, they tell you the regulations, they show you your bedroom, they show you the front room and everything, and that's it, you know. But they don't tell you like what Section 18 is, or whether you've got complaints procedure, or how many times you're allowed to do this, that and the other.
Although I'm supposed to be being assessed, they're just sort of telling me to go from one place, sort of like telling me to go, I had to go and see a psychiatrist to see how I got on with my family. I have to go and see a psychologist to see how I'm going to do at school. I have to go and see this person to see what I'm going to do. I have to go and see that person and whatever. And it's just sort of as if they just want you to keep going backwards and forwards just to find out what sort of things you can do and what things you can't do.
Most short stay homes should only stay there for a little while, and because that you know that you're staying there for a while, you get sort of a used to it, sort that you're going to leave in a few weeks' time, so you're really happy. But the home I was in before, I stayed in there for 10 months when I was only meant to be there for a week, and it weren't like proper, and it just really gets you down, sort of thing, and it's like a really cloudy feeling.
It was like a prison. You couldn't hardly do anything. You couldn't go out, you had to stay in, you could only play in the garden, you had to go to bed at 7:30, ridiculous times. Even the older ones had to go at really early bedtimes, and you don't get no responsibilities. You're just treated like a prisoner or something like that. And you've done something wrong all the time and you first go into care, and it's not your fault. You never did anything wrong.
We've had so much staff, it confuses you. But the first time I came into care, I got on with everybody, every single person, because we was like a family, you know. But now, like, we've got people coming in and out, and it confuses you.
They're there to look after you, but they don't act that way. It's as if they're there just for the money. If the staff sort of treated the kids better and sort of make the kids feel as if they're being cared for, the children would sort of feel as if it's their own, instead of as if they're not there just as people that are in a home. And sort of people would sort of, if they sort of respected us, we'd respect them.
I can't talk to none of the staff because they say it'll be just between you and them, and then they go and have their staff meetings and it goes all around the place, and you can't sort of, then the next thing you know, you've got another member of staff saying, I heard you've got this problem, and then another one comes up saying, I've heard you've got that problem. So really, if you try and talk to one person, you can't. You might as well just have all the staff in one room talking to them.
I think there's only certain children's homes or just certain staff in children's homes who are not just doing it as a job because they've got authority, they're doing it because they do care. you know, because like there's certain staff who you can sit down and you can have a right chin wag with and you don't feel out of place, you don't feel that you've said something wrong or whatever. But I do think that there's a certain amount of care from staff who work in children's homes, that they're not just doing it as a job. They would like to really help.
The ones that seem to be the nicest ones are the ones that usually leave. You know, they don't stay very long and they can't take it. And they do take a bit of notice of you and they try to help you with your problems and that, but they still don't fully understand because they don't really know the care system. None of them do.
Most of the staff that I've met all seem to think that there's something wrong with you. They all seem to think they know what's good, they know what's good, they know what's good, and anything they do is not bad.
Some of them don't really know what they're doing half the time, you know, find it a bit hard to keep all the kids under control and, you know, make sure that we're all put to bed on time and get our supper and dinner and all that lot. But generally, a lot of the staff I've met are good, and I usually go and visit some of them, which I've met at previous children's homes. They're the people that brought me up when I was young, say from 7 to 8 years of age. They're the people, you know, that taught me right and wrong and helped me get along in this world.
The worst thing is if it's a key worker and you've got a good key worker and they leave, it kind of ruins you because you put all your trust in that one person. They know about you, they know about your life, they know what you've gone through, and they know what stage you're up to. And if all of a sudden that they leave and you've got all that trust and everything and you've built up, and then they leave, you're kind of as if you're being dumped on the floor and swept away to the next person, like past the parcel. And it hurts quite a lot.
Well, they moved me in a year to 3 different homes and 6 different social workers, because one was ill, then another was ill. For moving about, I think they should give the person, you know, a bit more time to decide if he or she wants to move to a different home. You know, because up in Colchester, it was a big place. They could have just said to me, you know, do you want to stay here or do you want to go to another place? But they just moved me.
I've had, I think it's 5 social workers, and the first 3 I didn't really meet a lot of, didn't really know. And then my 4th social worker, I had her for 5 years, and she was brilliant. She's one of the best social workers I ever met in my life, and she did a lot for me. And then my recent social worker, she's very good as well. But in general, a lot of social workers are lousy. They don't pay any respect towards the child. You know, they sort of leave him out, and then they only pay interest when he's got something happening, something that's major. Otherwise, they don't want to know.
From what I can remember, I've had about 3. They're all right in general. They come down with visits regular, things like that. But if we need, they come and talk to us about problems, whatever. So I would say that they're all right in general.
Social workers seem to think they've got you right where they want you. And most of them don't even like kids. Quite a few social workers who I know don't even like kids that they're working with. And sort of, they seem to sort of say, well, this is happening to you, that's happening to you, oh, and you've got to lump it, instead of, how do you feel about this happening to you or whatever. They seem to think anything that they decide, anything that anyone decides is down to the social worker to tell you. Or if the social worker don't tell you, they've got to tell the people who you're living with. Whereas the social workers don't tell that. The people you live, so like my social worker don't tell them nothing. The people I'm living with have to phone up my social worker to find out what is going on.
So social workers just let's say to you like, I'll come and visit you so and so day and that, come for tea and that, come for tea and they just give you a little chat and then that's it for another month. Or if they're like regular visits, they come and see because they care about you. They don't care about you, it's just they want to get you over and done with and get another social worker for you because they can't be bothered.
Well, my social worker is a hippie, I'm ashamed of him. He
a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I think, I wanted to sleep at my friend's house, and my friends were really looking forward to it and seeing my social worker. But when my social worker turned up, like, they just lost interest in me completely, because I thought it was the social worker. So when I just asked for my social worker's permission and let one of the staff go and see the house and say if it was all right, because I don't like my social worker going.
There are some that, you know, do try, but the worst thing is that they just have no experience of what it's like being in care or anything like that. And if you was the social worker, if you had two social workers and one of them that was in care and one of them who wasn't care, but they both got their qualifications, that you'd find that most probably the one that was in care would be able to help most, because it'd be able to sympathise with the young person.
I don't like reviews, because I think with a review you should be able to stay in the review yourself and listen to it. Because in our children's home, when you've got your review, they only let you in halfway through. And when you do go in, you've got the teacher, this, that, your social worker, and they're always talking about you. And when they do give you a chance to speak, they don't give you a chance. Someone always speaks up for you. You know, and they make you feel that small. And I don't like them.
Well, in my reviews, not a lot gets done really. I just sit there and people talk across me as I want there. I don't go to the full review, I only go to half of it, and I don't think that's fair. I think you should be able to go to your own review to express your own feelings and express your own opinion, and because it's your life and you've got to decide what you want to do. And people can advise you on it, but I think that you've got a right to express your own opinion at your reviews, and they just won't let you do that. Like, they can't go up to you and ask you a question and go, how do you feel about this? And then you're just about to answer and they go straight on to someone else. I just don't think it's fair.
Oh, reviews. I haven't been to one review yet, but, you know, when I was young, there were reviews at my home. So I don't know anything about reviews. Don't know anything about them. But, you know, me and my mates say you just go in there for a couple of minutes and just come out. And have all the bad bits about you, good bits about you.
I was allowed in for the whole review, and what they did was they put all my movements with foster placements and children's homes up on the wall, so everyone could see it. There was about 20 different people in the room who I'd never seen in my life. You know, I was beginning to wonder what all these people are here for. I've never met most of them.
I don't really like myself, because what's the name? Because you get all of the people are like what's the name? Your school teacher and all the staff and the deputy director, the social services in Manchester, and people like that. So I don't really like them in general. When someone asks you a question, you don't know what to talk about because you just sat in the corner quiet. So if I had the choice, I wouldn't attend them.
In my reviews, I sort of go in there, they say, right, you can say whatever you want. They ask me a question, I go to answer it, and someone else jumps in and gives them the answer. So really, it's just a waste of time you being there because you don't get a chance to give your views. And it's just people, sort of like, you've got all these people in your reviews who you don't know. They're all making decisions about you, and yet none of them know what you want. None of them want to know what you want to do. They all seem to know what's best for you.
You had the teacher, you had the hospital, you had the doctor, you had the police, you had everybody there who knew just a bit about your history, and they'd be all there all through the review discussing your life. And then you'd walk in and you felt like you feel really annoyed because they've been discussing your life and they're the ones making decisions, and they could be the ones that are really messing up your life by making these decisions without consulting you. And when you go in there, you get the feeling kind of that you shouldn't be in there in the first place, you know what I mean? Because if they're going to discuss your life and then they call you in halfway through, what good's that going to do you?
I thought, what are all these people doing, you know? They're nothing to do with me. And if they wouldn't like it if I started butting into them. And I didn't think it was right.
I don't really know much about myself. When I was young, I didn't know I was fostered, and I was only told about a year ago or something, because it was brought up. but it wasn't brought up in review. Somebody just said something about it in the office. We had this man that came in to help out, and we was talking, and he said something about me, like he must have read my files, and I didn't think that was right because he wasn't like staying there. He wasn't going to work there permanently. It was just temporary. Yeah. And he came out with something, or something like that, because I said something, and he said, no, you're not. So I thought, no, that ain't right.
Most places, especially social services, won't let you see your files. So if they're going to give you it when you come out of care, they might as well just give you it while you're in care. It's just sort of like anything you do gets put down in it. Anything you say gets put down in it and all that. Look, where I am at my children's home, my key worker reads out the things that she puts in my files. Before she writes them down, and after she's written them down, she tells me what she's going to put or what she's put in it. Or sort of a couple of times she takes me down into the little staff room and reads out my file to me. Reads out what sort of things have been put down and that.
I reckon I should be able to see all of the file, even the confidential bits, because it's confidential about me. And if it's confidential because the staff have written something bad about you, I reckon they shouldn't write things bad about you. They should just write it, what they think. And no matter what the kid says, that's bad or whatever, that's the way you've been. If it's true, it's all right, but if it's not, it's a lie.
You feel as if they're trying to hide something from you. Like, and one day I got like angry at them and I says, look, if you've got anything you feel about me, just tell me. Because I don't want to like live thinking that you've got something but you're not telling me.
The staff are always complaining about us. So we write down one thing, right, for ourselves. The staff are always complaining about us not showing them it. But yet when it comes to the logbook, they moan if we even see the front cover of it. Because they reckon there's nothing in there for us. Yet in the logbook it's all to do with us. There's nothing for the staff in there.
Well, if they've got something in there what I don't like seeing, no, I don't want them to have, I could, say, could they get it out or something, or could do something with it, like change it. But if I can't see it, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't change or anything like that.
I think in a way young people should have the right to see their file, but the social workers and the social services argument is that if they do able to see their file and they find something that hurts them and it's distressing and things like that, it can, damage the young person for life. But it depends whether the young person is able to withstand the information that she knows about her past and how willing she's determined, no matter what she reads, it's just knowledge, and that she gets the right support, that she can cope with what she knows.
I've experienced both children's home and fostering placements, and all the fostering placements I've had have broke down due to various reasons of not getting on with the people or not enjoying my surroundings, or just the other kids that are with them. And also I prefer being in a children's home because it seems a lot better. You've got staff around you and there's other kids and they're the same age.
You sometimes end up places where you never dream of, you know what I mean? And so you just don't get much say in the whole complete thing. But when I was fostered the third time, I did have a choice. And I thought being fostering the third time might help me. But no, in the end it didn't. And all I wanted to do was move back into a children's home or an independence unit. And my foster parents weren't completely happy because it was their first time, and kind of they were middle-class people, and they thought, well, we've given her everything and we've got a wonderful house and that, and she still doesn't want to live with us, you know what I mean? And so they kind of tried to wash me off their conscience kind of thing, because it was partly their fault and partly mine as well, because they didn't bother to try and help me. They supported me in certain ways, but not all. the ways they thought they were best. They didn't really want to know what I had to say as a young person. So there was lack of communications between me and foster parents. So it just, you know, I don't think I'd ever want to be fostered again.
I don't think that fostering does anything for you really. In a way, I think it would be better to either be in a children's home, if you have to stay in a children's home until the age of 18, or if you come out of a children's home before that time and get set up in a hostel or something.
I personally think that they're a lot better. I've always enjoyed being in children's homes more than foster placements, and so I'd rather myself be in a children's home where I am now than actually stay in a foster placement, because I don't think it'd work again.
If you close down all the children's homes, what's going to happen to those young people that want to freak out once in a while or want to break away? They ain't going to have nowhere to go, you know. They're going to just be pushed back and pushed back to the foster parents. They're going to have nowhere they can go and spend a couple of weeks just to think things out and see what they want to do with the rest of their life. And, like, it's a trend, and like, give it a couple of years' time and the councils are going to start wishing they never, you know, thought of the thing, because it's like all things with the council, they do it, and in the end they're the ones that are sorry, you know what I mean? And there's all these load of young people that are really messed up, their lives have been messed up, you know, and there's nothing they can do, and they say, well, never mind, we'll change the system again and again and again. They don't really care, they don't take into consideration of what it does to the young person.
We don't know what happens to us when we leave care. I mean, we might get a bed sit or a flat, but that's it. I mean, there's no prospects, not really. Not at the moment, not for me, not for what I can see. But I'm worried about leaving care, worried, very worried.
I feel happy, because then I can start my life. I can meet more friends. You know, you can go out a lot, do what you like. Shop for yourself, cook for yourself, clothe yourself. Spend how much you want.
You know, there'll be rent problems, or there'll be housing problems, or neighbours, or work even, or signing on, whatever I'm going to be doing. But I don't know, I've handled 18 years of it, so I don't see why I can't handle another 18.
When you go in a children's home and, like, between the ages of, say, 13, 14, they should just teach you small things, or younger, just teach you, like, washing up, how to wash your own things, just looking after yourself generally, preparing you. So when you go in an independence unit, okay, you've still got to learn independence, but you're more aware of what you've got to do and what to learn.
I reckon there's going to be a lot of problems when I leave care, because I'm so used to being with other people. Like, I wouldn't like to think what it'd be like on my own, because I'm so used to living with other people now, you know. But I'm looking forward to it though. That's stepping someday, isn't it?
The welfare principle of the 1980 Child Care Act says that young people should, where practical, be given a say in the major decisions which affect their lives. Local authorities should take into consideration the wishes and feelings of the child regarding that decision.
Personally, I feel you get very little support. I think you don't get a chance to say what you feel, or if you do, you can't say it because you don't feel like you can say. So, and you just stick with that. That's what happened to me. I couldn't say it. I couldn't speak to anyone. I just bottled it up all inside me, until one day I just talked to somebody. One of my friends, and then I just started crying after that. And it made me feel much better.
Because they think we're kids and we don't know what we're talking about. But like, when you tell them that we do know what we're talking about, they sort of go, oh, okay, all right. And sort of, they're stupid because they don't realise that we know what we're talking about and we've got feelings as much as them.
Because I like speaking so anything what I want to say, I'll just say it. If it comes out blunt, it's blunt, but the staff in the children's home have just got to accept that.
I want to be myself, act normal, not to act as though I'm in a home. And, I don't know. And you should be like, there should be somebody around to listen to you when you want to speak to someone, because that's what they're really there for, to look after us.
I don't like people making decisions for me, because it makes you feel as if they own you. Anything they say goes, sort of thing.
The word care is just like another word for orphan. It's kind of an orphan. But it's a better word, care. 4-letter word, easy to write down in all the files. Right? But if they had staff, proper staff that looked after you properly, then I think that care would like stand out a bit more.
The most important thing that comes first is just listening to the young person, seeing what they really want, what would they like in the care system to change, how would they benefit from it, how would it really, really help them to survive in the outside world. That's just one of the sad things. There's no communications with the young people and those who make all the high decisions.